This video is going to be a perfect demonstration as to why my only claim to fame is winning the big race. Nothing says loser more than 10,000 sperm, and I was the fastest. So here we go. About 3 months ago, Hutchler posted this masterpiece. Destroy legendary missions on your own in under 30 minutes. So let's put it to the test. I've pretty much got his build. I have made some changes. He runs Fox's Prayer. I use Coyote's Mask. Other than that, it's 4-piece strikers and pristine example. He also runs fast hands on his weapon. I have Future Perfect because in the future I will be perfect. I have no idea what's happened to me. The reason I'm running Future Perfect is one, this gives me a tier 3 shield, a little bit more survivability, along with the fact that typically for this you'll either be running a sticky EMP or a turret. I find having a tier 0 turret to get destroyed and generally not do a lot. It's only really there for aggro, so I like having a tier 3 one just because it lasts that little bit longer, and as such will hold and generate more aggro. First area, we call it Courtyard, is actually really easy. There's actually no dramas with this whatsoever, and I still find it quite laughable that I can get through this entire video. Admittedly, I do fail. I can get through this entire video before some of the one-man army meta solo legendary with ease can even get through the frigging Courtyard. So, plus side there. Second one is, upon seeing the first helicopter, it can be a struggle, but you need to get into this little entryway, whatever you want to call it, where I currently am. The reason for this is it allows you to get the drop on, essentially, the enemies coming in, rather than staying out and running around, letting enemies come to you, because this way they are flanking you. You are out of position if you are being flanked. So, being here allows you to get the drop on them. Chunga on the left is already broken. All I've got to do is kill him. From here, I'm just going to pick off some of the just general adds while the Chungas reload their weapons. Allows me to have a greater uptime as well as reposition as needed. And then once the ads are done, because they will push you, Chungas will just walk around in a circle and just be absolute gormless idiots for some dumb reason. Once that is solved, yeah, there we are, problem done. We can now move to the inside. Now, I use a slightly different positioning from the inside. This is simply just due to the simple fact of Hutchler has way more experience and is a lot more comfortable in his own capabilities in Legendary DUA. So, I literally use the corner here by the door. The reason for this is if I do get pushed or I can't hold my own, I can just go straight out the door if needed. Hutchler does push forward more here, which in terms of cleanliness of taking out the area, as well as being able to utilize your accuracy more efficiently because you are closer, is better. But if you do struggle, this is where I go. But the overall mechanic of what we're doing, target prioritization, is exactly the same. I'm just in a slightly different position. Essentially, I'm in baby's first solo legendary position. He's in, I've done this a million times, look at me raw position. But the issue with me being back here is I will get pushed a lot more. The enemies will start to push up on me, whereas if you go to where Hutchler's positioning was in his original video, the enemies don't really push as much. They tend to sort of like focus just on where they are. But as you can see, I've got pushed. I can fall back to behind the door and deal with it from there. So both have their pros and their cons. If Hutchler got pushed too much, he would have to basically get up out of cover, have perfect line of sight from all the enemies, and probably get mowed down. So you really are relying on you being a DPS god at that point. The area coming up, the first part, is actually really simple. I tend to try and get rid of the rushers, then the snipers, just because the snipers can absolutely decimate you if you do one thing wrong. Get rid of the minigun, absolute priority first, then the rushers, because they will creep up on you and throw their silly bollocks grenades at you. From there, like I said, I'm trying to take out some of the snipers. Got another rusher, move to that quickly. Get rid of the minigun real quick, and then back to the snipers. Typically there will be one sniper at the left, but keeping pressure on them does seem to solve a lot of the issues. Although it's the same area, the bit after this where the sniper currently is, I don't know why, but every time I see a video of this, and then every time I do it, I get entirely different results. Simply just because when I see people do this, all the enemies stay back. They stay in their little corners at the back and just try and grenade and throw drones at you. Whenever I do this, they want to cuddle. They literally come up to me face first and just want to cuddle. I don't know whether I'm just not quick enough at doing this. I don't know what else is going on. I don't know. But all they want to do is come give me a damn bloody cuddle. So I tend to actually struggle here. Not saying what Hutchler did or the advice he gave is incorrect. It's just every time I've tried to follow Hutchler's advice in this area, it never goes according to plan, just because they never sit back and allow me to shoot them. They all want to come get... Look, there's one right there. Another one. And they stand there and go drone, 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 drone. And so I'm clearly doing something wrong or different, but I can't quite figure out what. However, just utilising your position from where Hutchler originally states as well is generally the best and most comfortable way to go. You will need to keep an eye on the drones, hopefully prioritising the drones first, and you can get through it. But yeah, look, they just want to cuddle all the time. All the damn time. Just leave me alone. Cuddle someone else. Up next, we have up the stairs going into the 2 Warhounds. For this, I do recommend the sticky bomb, which I'm going to be changing to now, or more accurately, the sticky EMP. Now, to utilise this, you kind of got to use your targeting a little bit smart. So you want to come at a decent angle. As soon as your reticule turns red, fire off your sticky, and you should hit both of them. Typically, people will go for the purple first, just because when that explodes, it will cause a shock, which will keep the yellow still for that bit longer. However, I don't generally have any sort of issues in this area. Hutchler does give very good advice. Try and follow it to a T. I just do it in the reverse order, just because I'm probably crazy. Now for what I like to call Problem Room 1. Why is this Problem Room 1? Well, first reason being that damn mini tank. Second reason being there is a purple drone crackhead that likes running around in a circle throwing drones at you, who is typically pretty hard to get to. My general tactic is just to shoot the drones, and if you can get to them quick enough, typically one of them will explode all over her face. She is the 2-bagger, so you got to put a bag over your head just in case her bag falls off. That is how ugly and annoying she is. Other than that, the mini tank and the damn controller. The controller, I swear to God, is like a leprechaun. He tends to find a little corner, sit down and not move. He's an absolute dick. Luckily for me, he had a change of heart and he did decide to move. From here, keeping our same positioning at the back of the room, this allows us to get as much uptime on both the Warhounds, because they will have to come to you to do maximum amount of damage. Ideally, you want to try and get rid of the sniper Warhound first, because he will basically EMP the other Warhound when he dies, but it's not exactly a requirement, it's just an extra nice thing to have. From here, I like to EMP the door, because if a bit of luck, you can get the mini tank. The reason I do this is typically a few enemies will try rushing you. The sniper generally tends to stay back, and if you peek, the sniper pings you. All the while, you've got a mini tank crawling up your damn ass. So I like EMPing the door, because on the rare occasion I am able to EMP the mini tank, it tends to just make things go so much smoother. There is also the issue of this purple. Sometimes he's a yellow as well, which is even more irritating, who just likes putting a hill box down and then just playing skip rope and doing absolutely dumb stuff of just running around while healing. He is so much fun, 10 out of 10. Now, if you do get to this part and you've got 1 ad left, do not forget about the mini tank like I did just there, because yeah, mini tank hurt. Mini tank is no. Mini tank is bad doo-doo. Do not forget about the mini tank. They do some seriously unhealthy amount of bullet damage. I always tend to get rid of the mini tank regardless, just because for me they just cause so much problem. I'm also a spiteful asshole. Fuck you, mini tank. From here, just going to reload, try and keep him suppressed so that he's not going to do anything stupid, and then just push him, which is pretty much easy done. After this, next room, this is actually pretty simple. The one thing I do different here is I use Sleep Near along with Strikers. Sleep Near plus Strikers is dumb. Like, the level of damage this thing does is ridiculous. And not to toot my own horn, but I believe I actually do this room cleaner than Hutchler. It's like the only room I can probably say one up on him, and it's the easiest room in the entire mission. So yeah, go me. Humble brag. Stack a few busy little bee, reload the Sleipnir to get the full proc, and then just burn. Bye guys, have fun. Pleasure knowing you. It's just, yeah, it's so much easier this way for me. Might not be for you, you might have a different tactic involved. Play to your personal strengths. But Hutchler does generally give very good advice. 10 out of 10, recommend. The next room is Problem Room 2 for me, just because the room is not inherently difficult. It's not like there's a lot of ads, they grenade spam, etc, etc. The room is difficult just because I swear to God, every other ad is one of those bastards with a lunchbox that just put them down and then just heal everyone, and you end up in this awkward stalemate until you run out of ammo and then you're screwed. So in this area, target prioritization is absolutely key. You can probably wing it and get a few whiffs going through the previous areas, but in this area I would argue target prioritization is just, you need to know it. For the guys with the lunchboxes, you actually want the idiots with the 2 chevrons that are upside down, which basically means the arrow is pointing upwards. They are the lunchbox guys that heal everything. After that, you want to go for the healers, which are the ones with the plus side or the first aid sign, whatever you want to look at it, or however you want to look at it. After that, you just want to basically clear out whatever comes towards you first. There's a purple healer boy, going to go for him, but a grenade guy popped up in the way. Not going to say no to taking out a grenade boy. Typically, I try and leave the Chunga till last, just because he's not going to be that much of an issue if he's not going to be getting supported. Chungas on their own are pretty damn weak. Chungas, when you've got a load of things rushing you, healing, spamming grenades, are a big problem. My humble brag from earlier definitely disappears because Hutchler is definitely so much better at this room than me. And yeah, I'm not sure whether I need to touch more grass or touch less grass. Either way, Hutchler in this room is absolute king. I try and save my turret till quite near the end when the Chunga is pushing, just because that way the Chunga will aggro the turret and I can just chew through his backpack, which saves me, and then finish off any remaining ads, and problem solved. And then we can move into probably one of the easier rooms going, simply just because I don't know what it is with the AI in this room, but they really like doing dumb stuff, like just standing there and looking awkward, which is for me quite damn hilarious. Now, while doing this, try and just keep an eye on the right hand side, essentially, because you're going to be focusing down the sight and things can just kind of not creep up on you because they're not creeping, they're just blatantly running. But typically if you're looking down a sight, things can do the old sneaky unintentionally. For this, I would recommend basically, although there is going to be a healer or the guy with a lunchbox, generally just go for whatever is closest to you, get rid of it, try and maximize your stacks, and yeah, basically solves all problems. Try not to overextend too much. I'm aware we're like hiding behind cover and using the shield peeking, but what I mean by overextend is just making yourself more of a larger target so that the Chungas can instantly rinse you. Do not recommend. Where the Chungas are going to be pushing you, if you've got good accuracy, just go straight for the head, get rid of them. You should be able to kill them in one magazine and maximum stacks. If your accuracy isn't that good, get rid of the backpack first so you can avoid the whole stinger hive thing that they've going on, and then utilizing the broken backpack, go through to their health damage or take out the chain to give yourself some breathing room. This room is actually a personal hatred of mine, simply just because no matter whenever I do this room, the first thing that tends to happen is I get instantly greeted with those pesky fucking grenades. Look, they're straight at it already. Just grenades. Yeah, congrats guys. So this room can be a bit of a ball ache for me. I've tried mimicking what Hutchler does, and every time I do it, I end up dying. That's no fault of Hutchler. I'm clearly doing something wrong. But you can utilize this back room, the room you were previously in, for a little bit of extra cover if needed. Just be aware that the majority of the time they'll be sat in a healing pool while in cover, and you will need some seriously high class DPS to draw those rats out of that damn hole. Now the annoying thing here is you can run out of ammo. Just because of where, although there's not a lot of enemies, they're going to be hiding, they're going to throw in grenades, they're going to be healing, blah de blah de blah. Do not panic if you start to run low on ammo, simply just because one room back there is an ammo crate that you are able to use, and it also tends to mess with their AI a little bit, and they will tend to push forward a bit outside of their healing box. So 1, you've just restocked and got a whole new bunch of pew pew make dead. 2, you've drawn them out of cover, and essentially you kind of reset their AI so they go patrolling again. On to Maul. Yes, the Blight of Maul. This is actually, for me, one of the easiest rooms just because of the positioning and situation where you start. You have an ammo crate right there, and you have plenty of cover to your front. Depending on how you want to play this, the safest and easiest way is just hang out by the ammo crate. So we're going to put our turret up to do some stuff, and then we're just going to chill back here and shoot. Now, there is one thing to keep an eye on here, which I make a really stupid mistake by forgetting it happens, is typically there'll be 2 grenadiers. That was 1. The second one is up top, who I've not clocked onto yet. Haven't even realised where he is. I bloody have now. And yeah, this is his entire personality. He just stands there and grenades. It is awkward, it is annoying, but if you can get rid of him, it's basically smooth sailing. The Wallies don't tend to do much. The high-end, the elite Wally, the yellow one, will basically just sit in that same spot and do nothing. The controller paired with him will tend to hide in cover, so trying to get him, either leave him till last or just try and come up with some weird crazy way to get rid of him. But other than that, the real priority is going to be the grenaders, because they can pin you in this room just by spamming grenades, because they have nothing else going on in their lives. Once there are 2 enemies remaining, the Chungers will spawn. The Chungers will spawn with, I believe, 2 or 3 rushes, and again 2 or 3 just generalized ads, and I think one of them may be actually another grenade dude. This is actually really handy because the rushers will beeline straight for you. Get rid of them as soon as possible. They're not that difficult. And then after that, the general lads will try and move into a position of where they can either shoot you or grenade you. And then the Chungers will very, very slowly make their way towards you. Basically, they form a nice pretty queue for you to just mow down. Maul is not really that difficult as long as you utilise the cover and positioning that the game just provides you. From there it's pretty damn simple, and the next problem then becomes the dogs. The dogs are actually not particularly difficult. The only reason why they become a problem is because they don't fucking sit still, and they do dumb stuff like just running around in a damn circle and just generally being annoying. It's kind of what I imagine having children would be like. After the Warhounds clear up any ads, sadly I've left a controller till last, who is going to be an absolute bellend, but typically they're not too much of a problem just because they're going to play hide and seek, and as soon as you find them you know what to do. After that we move on to Garage. Now I've actually had a conversation with Hutchler. He was actually quite looking forward to me doing this at one point, but it took a little bit longer, so he might have forgotten. Now when it comes to Garage, and this is actually where I fail, because you might notice the video is going to end soon. Garage is problem area number 3. Garage is an absolute butthole, and I hate it. I only really think I've gotten through there once utilising this, and this is nothing to do with Hutchler's advice. It's everything to do with how you play. Garage is absolutely sore. It really, really is quite horrible. And the one criticism I had of Hutchler's video, which I did tell him, is I feel he really did understate how shit Garage can be. He also agreed with this. So yeah, the main takeaway from this entire video is Hutchler is 100% right. You can solo Legendary in under 30 minutes with this type of build. If I got through Garage and continued this sort of pace, I estimate that the total runtime would have been about 32 minutes. The room after Garage isn't really that difficult. especially if you know how to utilize your positioning. And then after that, it is literally just the boss, and let's face it, the boss room isn't that hard. And to be perfectly honest, if you get to the boss room and fail, no dramas, you start again there anyway. It is literally just garage that is the biggest problem in this legendary. Getting through the rest of it is pretty damn simple. Hutchler's advice will cover you throughout all of it. The one part where I feel is going to be more experience rather than advice is just garage. I personally hate garage. It's horrible. I went into garage nervous, which didn't help. I was like, crap, I'm actually doing really well. This could be a pretty good showing and a good video and highlights Hutchler's expertise. And then I got to garage and I think I lasted like 8 seconds. Like, it's a complete and total embarrassment on my end. But still, Hutchler's advice through that video is absolutely tip-top. Like I said earlier, the only criticism I had, which Hutchler did also agree with, is how understated garage was. Now, I potentially did this completely wrong. I attempted to push forward, throw my turret out, and then utilise this positioning here to utilise as cover and try and take out some of the drone people, and I just got chewed up. Simply just because the guy over there, I then tried moving back, and then the cover system screwed me. Anyway, Hutchler is right. Have fun. Good luck. Don't die. It's bad for the health.